Hi, this is Frank Machado, now owner of the Elegant Bull Restaurant, and we a prisoner here from our president. He's not letting me hire anybody, so I'm still working. Anyway, 91 years old, graduated from the Hilmar High School, 1949. Captain of the football team back in 49, and quarterback and linebacker 1948. In those days, I didn't get to school all the time because I had to work. Anyway, youngest of the family, the father got older, so that's what happened. Anyway, I had a great coach, Coach Maswini, and before him, another guy that was pretty good, Earl Goodell. He was my earlier days, like I was a freshman. So we had a lot of history going there. Our football team in the junior year did very well. We played for the championship, but I think we lost by Ripon. They were really hot in those days, and my senior year the same way. We lost to Ripon by. But then we had a special game at Merced where I had to be escort the princess at halftime, and I remember McSweeney wasn't coaching him and giving me help that I took that job because the game was more important. He says, no, you can escort girls later on in life, but don't do it now when we're in the middle of a game, halftime. So we're getting pretty bad by Merced, so they weren't letting me play either. Another thing too is defense, so I had to do that in the second half. Mac didn't take no for an answer, and he was the boss, even though he was principal, not the coach. So, a hell of a guy. So I think the spirit of old Mac is still hanging around here. I really do. So, you know how we got spirit in Hilmar? Well, it's from guys like him. And between the time of freshman and I became a sophomore, I kind of doubled in size for some doggone reason. I don't know, finally the whooping cough and every stuff when I got it was a kid, it was gone. And I grew up, and I didn't know much about football at all. We played a little, I went to a grade school back way in Williams Avenue, way west of Hilmar. As a little guy, I grew up, and all of a sudden, they had like a makeup JV team when I was a sophomore, and we got to play schools that were just starting football again. And one was Denair, and one was, I think, Mariposa, and the other was Newman, or Timba. And we beat them all. But when we played Denair, it's sort of, I tell people I have a history of Denair, but I don't have it in Hilmar. Because the first game that Denair ever had, I scored the first touchdown. So I tell everybody that's my history. But it's in Denair. Sorry about that, folks. And no history in Hilmar. Good years, loved it. And the only way I could never figure this out, a friend of mine come and told me that this quarterback that was in my sophomore year, he had a twin brother. The twin brother was a fullback, and he was a quarterback. I bet you talking they were two great kids, the Gonzalez twins, if everybody remembers them. Anyway, some guy told me, he says, well, I was talking to Mac. He says, you're going to be next year's quarterback. I didn't even really know what the hell a quarterback was, really, because the way we played the double wing, and I says, well, I never heard of that, but we'll play. I thought I was going to be a lineman all this time, except I was playing a little fullback when I was at junior varsity. So I said, well, whatever. So sure as hell, he had me down as quarterback. Well, quarterback in the old days, my junior year, you did a lot of blocking, and you also usually played linebacker. So that was more my style, linebacker. That's what I really did the best at. But I really did pretty damn good at quarterback for a guy that wasn't supposed to play quarterback. Coach Marcus kept saying, well, you guys never threw a pass. I threw a lot of passes, and I completed most of them. Anyway, I remember the two receivers I had, a guy named Elkins, another guy named Fred Coop, who killed Hilmar the following year. He played for Escalon. But always, my boys all really, after spending 4 years in the Navy, I got stationed in Moffett Field over by Santa Clara, where my family first came from. And all my boys went to a good high school that played a lot of good football. So I did a lot of football coaching, promoting, and all that. So, and coming back to Hilmar was the big thing for me, because I remember when my son was born, my oldest son, who has passed away but now, when he was born in Hilmar, somebody bought him a football, and before he got out of the hospital, he had a football in his crib. So that's the way we worked at the old days. I don't know about now. Yeah, when in our junior year in baseball, I didn't get to play much. We had a hell of a team, though. We were champions in the baseball in my junior year. It was a split league. We won our division, and Gustine won it, but the Gustine didn't won out and won it all. Then the following year, we didn't have many players. For some reason, our big star pitcher, the Greek boy, Strivanidakis, he was hurt his arm. Another good guy, he was off too. So we had to really go out and look for players. So I actually, with one home run, but won the league in doubles, had the best average in the league in batting, a lot of singles and stuff, but hardly no RBIs. Nobody got on base. It was a bad team. So if you can look at our Joaquin, our yearbook, it still got that inscription there that we didn't do very well. So, because we didn't have many players. We didn't. I had to go recruit myself as a senior. I had to go recruit kids. And but we had fun. We played our hearts out. And in those days, there's no quit in my blood. I always said, no, we're gonna do the best. And Mac stayed another year to coach that team. That was I think Coach Mac's last coaching experience was that team. I think so. My favorite game had to be the Armistice. Those days it was Armistice Day. It wasn't Veterans Day. It was when we played Merced for a special game there. And it mostly come in the second half, because Mac had really ripped me off at halftime for escorting us. This lovely lady, in fact, still lives in Hilmar, a nice lady. I want to bet your name. Hi, Beverly, if you're around. Thank you for having me escort you. That's a long time coming. He rid me off so doggone bad. I went out there and I made some tackles. So I mean, they were ahead of us like 20-0 at halftime. And I think the game ended 20-0. So that's my best game. And it was on defense. I had one game I made 11 out of 15 passes. That was my best game in passing. So that's the way it works, kids. Let's hope for Hilmar this year. Go Jackets. Yeah, I think if anybody could remember our coach in my senior year, he was really different, a lot different than Mac. And Mac apologized for him a lot. But he was our coach, and I really stuck with him. I worked with him, and I tried hard for him. And a lot of players just wouldn't do it in those days, and I think we would have did a lot better if they would have kind of supported this guy a little more. That's the way it works. Sometimes you get them good, sometimes they're bad. Hilmar's been lucky with coaching, you know. They've had some real good guys, starting with McSweeney and Van Legion and a few others I heard about. And now Frankie. Frank knows what he's doing, so I hope they're good to Frankie and keep Frankie there a long time. I call him Frankie. I can do it because he's younger than me. All right. One thing I learned from Hilmar football, really though, with McSweeney and I can't remember the coach, the assistant coach in those days back in the senior year. Anyway, was you give it all, and that's why I succeeded in the Navy, 3 cruises, and if you don't give it all, don't do it at all. So like I say, and that's raising kids like you guys, and managing a hot dog stand. No matter what you do, guys, and when you become fathers, give it all. I mean, all the way, all right? Remember that. One thing I got to tell you, and I'm very proud of, and this is real, by being with Mac and others that taught me how to give it all. I have a restaurant, and this year, after 5 years straight, I've got the award for the 209 magazine of the best steakhouse in the 6 counties, 209 area code. So I'm very proud of that. And that comes from doing it the best you can, always. You don't lie to nobody. You ask anybody. You be as good as you can to anybody that helps you. You treat them good. But you don't also let them fool around. You know, you're going to play football. You know, good football team, you don't have it. Out of the 11 out there in the field at one time, nobody's messing around. Everybody's doing their thing. And I want to thank all my employees, all my customers, and everybody that come here to the Elegant Bull. That thank you for the honor of having this 5 years in a row. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you.